70 miles. That's about, 100,000 footsteps. That's how far the Dry Tortugas are from the fuel dock in Key West. No safety net, no ripcord. A speck atop a dot inside a molecule. Sand and brick. A place where you can wade in the middle of the ocean, where inshore species live far offshore. It's the Florida Keys that few see. Mothership, check. Provisions, check. Weather, we'll see. Let's run.
Wow, look at that run.
Dude, these fish are giants.
Dude, he wasn't throwing any kind of wake in there. There's a big fish, too.
Real big fish.
The sea rules over both the past and present and defines the destiny of all life on Earth. It surrounds land from every angle, and it takes and gives as it pleases. Throughout the ages, humanity has used the sea for sport and sustenance. It's a deep, dark frontier, and there are untold fathoms left to explore.
Growing up in Key West is a very beautiful place, and everybody loves coming there, and it's got clean green waters, and people show up and they're like, oh man, this is the prettiest place on earth, and I'm like, no, it's not. 70 miles west of us is the prettiest place on earth. This is a couple of islands that basically come up in the middle of nowhere. It's like a pinnacle. It's 80 foot of water all around us, and then the shallowest stuff is we get these little sandbars. It just attracts life. It attracts bait. It's good, clean water. There's a lot of current flow through here. On a lot of days, there's blue water right on the beach. One of these untouched places that it's hard to get to.
A reef, a national park, and a Civil War fort walk into a sandbar. You've heard this one before, right? This is no dad joke. It's the true story of an odd oasis on the outer reaches of America, where species of all kinds live in abundance. The Dry Tortugas is 70 miles west of Key West. It's a 100 square mile swatch of water, a rippling stained glass window of blues and greens, with 7 small islands dotting the seascape. For Key West fly fishing guides and brothers Brandon and Jared Sear, the Dry Tortugas is something of a blank canvas.
I've spent my entire life fishing off the lower Keys in Key West. There's not many flats that I have not fished at some point. To be able to go out close to home, not out of the country, and the slate was wiped clean. I had to figure these flats out from scratch. And that's the best part about being a fishing guide, trying to put the puzzle pieces together and the never-ending chess game of fly fishing. The Keys are already known for having some of the largest average bonefish, and those fish down there are even bigger, all giants.
The giants that Brandon speaks of are bonefish, a common species on the Sear brothers' home flats. It may only be 10 pounds, but for a bone, that's a catch of a lifetime. For most of Florida Keys' history, distance was the barrier to fishing the Dry Tortugas, but the center console changed that. It's a time machine with outboards, turning days into hours. But that doesn't mean it's easy. For a place once known as Devil's Island, the devil is in the details. It's pre-dawn at Ocean's Edge Marina on Stock Island. We've got a center console, a mothership, a couple of paddle boards, a generator, provisions, and a glacier's worth of ice. The run has begun.
Well, it's a beautiful morning off at Key West. We left the fuel dock at about 5 to 7, and we're about an hour into our run out to the Dry Tortugas. Got a 50-foot leopard catamaran that we chartered for the week to be the mothership for a fishing expedition here. It'll be kind of exciting to see the boys come along with the rods and reels and get ready for some action. And we got about a 80-mile run today. Hope to be in late afternoon, just about in time to set the anchor and have a cold one.
"16 million bricks, 70 miles from land. Fort Jefferson is America's Sphinx. How the hell did this get here? It's been a Civil War fort, a prison, and now a backdrop for bone fishing. The clear, skinny water surrounding the fort is a haven for big bones.
One of the cool things about it down here is, we're fishing in the middle of nowhere, but then you turn around and you've got this, Civil War fort that's the size of an island. I mean, it's quite a magnificent view, and it's a special place. It's the feat of architecture to have this thing here. It's really impressive that they could do this in the mid-1800s.
Getting to fish down in the fort is just truly humbling. This was a Civil War fort, and this thing was built for destruction. And the fact that what used to cut off supply routes is now this beautiful national park and a reserve for so many species, it's really cool. Getting to go out there and see all the different cells where Dr. Mudd was kept and the giant cannon stuff to realize how good we have it today.
For this flats fishing outing, the Sears are forgoing their skiffs. Paddles, the original outboard.
All right, guys, we're ready to roll. These paddle boards are a good option, and there should be some bonefish, there's possibly permit, baby tarpon, full-size tarpon. Let's see what we can go get into. So what I'm thinking, you see all that hard bottom up in there, or that shallower stuff? Last time I was here, that was all pretty good. All right, I'll see what we can go find. Could be some baby tarpon in here too. I've seen that before.
Okay, there's one tailing right along the shoreline there. Right here.
Oh yeah, you see him out there?
First bonefish I saw was 8 to 10 pounds, which is a fish of a lifetime. And they were doing behaviors that I've never seen them do before. They were belly crawling across rocks. Oh, there's 2 of them, Jared. Got one.
Nice, dude.
Oh my God, dude, some of those are giant. There's 2 more there. Whoa!
Wow, look at that run.
Dude, that is so cool. Dude, these fish are giants. Oh boy, he's got me on a rock.
Yeah.
Oh man. He broke me off on the rocks, yeah. Dude, these fish are giants.
What's pretty unique about the bonefish here tend to be a little bit more on like a marley bottom. We got cut off on rocks, and that's something that usually happens on our grass flats back in Key West. We found fish mudding. You almost couldn't get the paddle boards to them. I mean, they had cruising around with their backs out. I mean, it was really unique and, kind of cool to see that, a skinny water species like that makes it all the way down here and has their own population of fish and are thriving.
Oh, that's a nice fish. Go after him. Run, Forrest, run. Hell yeah.
Dude, he wasn't throwing any kind of wake in there. It was big fish too.
Real big fish.
Oh man, this is so awesome. Talk about being in paradise. Little slice of heaven and doing my favorite thing in the world, sight casting. Look at that thing. Chunky, healthy fish. I mean, that's great Florida Keys bonefish right there, boys. I absolutely love it. I was lucky enough to come on a mothership trip years ago down here, and I fell in love, and I've been doing everything in my power to come back. Well, let's let this guy go. I'll be back to see you someday soon. Thank you, my friend.
A rare sighting is just up ahead, a species that has no business on these remote flats. But then again, we're far from normal.
Atta boy!
Inshore species offshore. Giant versions of petite species. The Dry Tortugas fishery has its own DNA. Take another example, triggerfish. Aggressive feeders, but also skittish and nervous. Picky eaters that prefer crustaceans and mollusks. They're known to plumb the depths alongside grouper and snapper. But not here.
As far as I know, down there in the Dry Tortugas has the only population of tailing triggerfish in the continental United States. I've never heard of anybody else or seen it before, but these things are these giant ocean triggers that are tailing in 1.5 feet of water. And I did hear that they're really hard to hook. They have these crazy rabbit-like teeth, and the only place you can hook them is this tiny little spot in the corner. And so we fed quite a few fish, but getting it to stick was a whole different ball game, and that just drove me crazy even more, made me want to do it, because here's something that I thought would be easy and I'd be able to figure out, and I don't know what to do.
Still see these ones down here. Down in like the white hard bottom, look, he just tailed again.
Where's the one that you saw?
You got one right there?
Yeah, I got one right here.
All right, go for it. Got him.
You got him?
Yep.
Atta boy! Yeah, Jared?
No!
No!
Triggerfish on the flats, a new fishery to explore. With 0 catches, the thrill of the chase will have to suffice. After all, it's not just about the fishing, but where the fishing takes you.
It was a frustrating deal. I didn't succeed. I got to hook one, I ended up pulling the hook on him, but it's definitely created that drive and just wanting to learn it and figure it out better. I'm already trying to plan and figure out when the next time we can get back down here and try this again.
Up next, there are more bones to pick. and a stop at the Marquesas Islands for another flats A-lister. The triggerfish may not have cooperated, but the bonefish are good for our self-esteem.
Super overcast clouds, so I never saw them, but you can see the mud puffs in the direction they were moving and was able to throw a heavy fly out in front of them and got them. It's cool because like typically in Key West, when you see mudding schools like this, it's normally pretty small fish, you know, anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds. This fish looks to be a lot nicer than that. So it's kind of cool that just everything here is just kind of supersized. Dude, these bones are way bigger than our average. Pretty crazy that I just caught a bonefish in an old Civil War fort 80 miles in the middle of the ocean. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Oof, man, these fish were tailing up real shallow. They're still up shallow. He's trying to rub me off on the rocks. The challenge of the paddleboard, there's so many moving parts. You know, you're trying to keep your balance, not make too much noise, not hit the side of the board with the paddle. Ooh, that was cool, man. This is my kind of fishing. That's so cool. You wouldn't think that 65 miles out in the middle of the ocean, there'd just be schools of bonefish pushing around and tailing. Pretty wild. Grow bigger and I'll be back for you.
Having pushed the fuel gauge far enough, it's time to head back to civilization with one quick pit stop. Halfway home sits the Marquesas Keys, an island chain nearly 30 miles from Key West. It's a quiet, largely Googan-free fishing spot known for outstanding bottom fishing and a maze of mangroves that hold tarpon. The paddleboards provide Brandon and Jared access to the no-motor zones.
West of Key West, there's just scattered islands that have tons of bait and little deep channels around the edges of the mangroves, which is a perfect nursery for juvenile tarpon. You know, they average anywhere from 10 to 30 pounds, and on a light fly rod, it can be pretty challenging. You know, not only are they still spooky as the big ones can be, but you're trying to lay a fly in 8 to 10 inches from the mangroves. If you're 1.5 feet, 2 feet out, they're not gonna see the fly. And then obviously if you're in the trees, it's game over. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh God. He gone. That was so cool.
A speck atop a dot inside a molecule. That's what this endless epicness makes you feel like. Out here, we're all small critters trying to reach the next sunrise. Orange, green, red, blue, silver. These colors paint a new picture of the Dry Tortugas every day, week, and season. It's never the same place twice.